We have spent this series on brand strategy talking about building, designing, and measuring a brand from the ground up. Now, let's bring it all home. We're recapping the essential lessons from defining your brand's why to protecting your most valuable asset so you can transform your brand strategy from an art into a science. Today on Art+Science. Hey there, I'm Kevin Hartman, Associate Professor at the University of Notre Dame and founder of the Art+Science Analytics Institute, where our mission is to make you a better data analyst. In today's video, we are bringing our brand strategy series to a close with a comprehensive recap. We'll revisit the foundational concepts we've explored, including the power of brand identity, the importance of brand architecture, and the crucial role of brand equity measurement. This is our final lesson in a masterclass on how to build a powerful brand that's not just seen, but felt, measured, and strategically managed for sustainable success. A brand isn't just a logo, a slogan, or a campaign. It is an intangible asset, a collection of feelings and beliefs that exists in the minds of consumers. It's the reason a consumer might choose one functionally similar product over another. The brand evokes a unique set of emotions and allows them to express their values through ownership. For example, a person might drive a Toyota Prius to signal they are environmentally conscious, while another chooses a Ford F-150 to convey ruggedness and utility. For the brand builder, the primary purpose of managing these associations is to generate financial value. This can be understood through a simple model of three key figures: production cost, price, and perceived value. While operational strategy focuses on reducing production costs, brand strategy is the force that drives up a product's perceived value. The goal is to push these two frontiers as far apart as possible. Costs down as much as you can, perceived value up as high as you can. That gap creates the room to set a price that either maximizes profitability or drives market-dominating volume. A brand's power is measured in its ability to generate profit from the space it creates between cost, price, and perceived value. This strategic flexibility unlocks two primary paths to profitability for the brand. One is high margin exclusivity. This strategy involves setting that price very close to the high perceived value the brand has built. Consumers willingly pay this premium because the brand's intangible value feels worth it. This approach is mastered by companies like BMW and Hermès, which cultivate brands of performance and exclusivity to command higher prices. The second approach is broad market accessibility. This strategy involves setting the price well below the perceived value while keeping it comfortably above costs. The large, attractive gap between what consumers believe the product is worth and what they actually have to pay for it drives massive sales volume. Here, profit is generated through scale rather than high margins. This is the path taken by companies like Walmart and Ford, which leverage strong brand perception to dominate their respective markets. Achieving this success requires more than just being brand-centric. It demands a disciplined process for building the brand's core identity from the ground up. A brand's identity must be built from the center out. The most successful brands lead with their purpose. At the center is the brand's why, the core belief behind its existence. This serves as its emotional connection point to consumers. It's the departure from the way that most companies operate, as they tend to emphasize what they sell, whereas the iconic brands are defined by why they exist. Apple's why isn't making computers, it's think different. Nike's why isn't selling shoes, it's empowering action through just do it. This foundational why is the brand's essence and must be protected above all else. It is given substance through the brand's core elements and brought to life through its extended elements, including its personality, its organizational actions, and symbols. These layers all radiate from the center out, translating purpose into a comprehensive brand identity. But defining this identity isn't enough. A brand must live it authentically through demonstrable proof points in every action it takes. This commitment to authenticity is non-negotiable. A brand is only as strong as its promises, and any gap between its stated identity and the customer's experience is a broken promise that can rapidly destroy trust and equity. A well-defined identity built around a core why is the starting point, but it remains an internal concept until it is translated into something tangible for consumers. To have impact, a brand's essence must be converted into a clear promise fulfilled through specific benefits. These benefits form a ladder, moving from the practical to the personal. They include functional benefits. These are the most basic, tangible benefits based on a product's attributes. For a car brand like Volvo, this includes its best-in-class safety features, durable build, and reliable performance. It includes emotional benefits. This is how the brand or product makes the consumer feel. The functional benefits of Volvo's safety features deliver a powerful emotional benefit, the feeling of security and peace of mind. And finally, it includes self-expressive benefits. This is how using that brand allows a consumer to express their identity. By choosing Volvo, a driver signals to others, I am responsible, I am a caring person who prioritizes safety. Powerful brands just don't claim these benefits, they prove them. Every feature, policy, interaction serves as a demonstrable proof point, supporting the emotional and self-expressive and functional promises that it makes to consumers. A car's advanced braking system isn't just a feature, it's a proof point for the feeling of security. A new power tool's generous warranty isn't just a policy, it is a proof point that the company stands behind its quality and promises and builds trusts. This is where authenticity becomes critical. When a company's proof points are not aligned to its identity, its brand equity can be rapidly destroyed. The infamous 2017 United Airlines incident is a classic example, forcibly removing a paid passenger from a full flight to make room for a crew member directly contradicts the emotional benefits promised by its Fly the Friendly Skies tagline, creating a massive gap between its identity and the consumer's reality. A successful brand, therefore, meticulously manages its proof points to ensure that every action reinforces its promised benefits. To influence decisions, brands must understand the modern consumer path to purchase. This is no longer a linear funnel. Actually, it never really was one. It is now seen and understood as a circular journey, as described by frameworks like the McKinsey Consumer Decision Journey. For the brand, this journey has three main phases. Pre-purchase. This is the beginning of the shopping experience. This begins with a trigger that puts a consumer into market. They then form an initial consideration set, a familiar set of brands, and they enter into an active evaluation phase. Second phase is the purchase phase. This is the moment of purchase. This encompasses the entire direct experience, from the store environment and the packaging to the ease of checkout. And the final part of the shopping journey is the post-purchase experience. After the sale, the consumer enters this phase, which includes customer service and loyalty programs. A positive experience can lead the consumer into what we call the loyalty loop, where they bypass the evaluation on their next purchase and just become a straight loyal customer for that brand. Since resources are finite, smart brand strategy involves choosing where to concentrate investment for the greatest impact. The goal is to identify a critical friction point in a customer's experience and invest there to earn outsized gains. Warby Parker, for example, identified that the biggest obstacle in buying eyewear online was the inability to try on frames. Its home try-on program innovated the pre-purchase journey, built immense trust, and allowed Warby Parker to disrupt an industry without massively investing in a retail footprint. In a competitive market, being preferred is not enough. The ultimate goal is to become so relevant that your brand, are the only choice for a specific need. This means creating a category of one in the consumer's mind. To achieve this, any brand initiative must pass three strategic filters. Differentiation. The brand must stand out from competitors. Relevance. Customers must care about that difference. And sustainability. The brand must be able to protect its unique position over time. There's often a tension between these filters. A Ferrari is highly differentiated, but not relevant to most customers, or at least it shouldn't be, while toothpaste brands are highly relevant, but struggle to appear different. One powerful strategy for a brand is what we might call brand judo, focusing on a positive attribute of yours that simultaneously highlights a competitor's weakness. TikTok built its brand on raw authenticity and entertainment, which in turn made its competitor Instagram feel like curated and commercialized by comparison. Brands bring their identity to life through a variety of tangible assets. There are signature stories, compelling, authentic narratives that encapsulate a brand's ethos. A classic example is the Nordstrom story of a manager refunding a customer for tires, a product Nordstrom never sold, cementing its legendary commitment to customer service. Whether these stories are true or not is really beyond the point. It's what it says about the brand and how it becomes legend. Symbols and taglines. These are highly efficient mental shortcuts to the brand. The Geico Gecko and Nike's Just Do It tagline instantly reinforce their brand's personality and positioning. And quality cues, specific product characteristics that signal outsized value. Examples include the solid sound of a car door closing, Tiffany's iconic blue box, and the perception of quality associated with a product's country of origin. Scarcity, mastered by streetwear brand Supreme, is another very powerful cue. It's very natural for consumers to think that if something is limited and very difficult to obtain, it must have great quality. These assets give a single brand its power, but as a company grows, it must move from managing a single brand to organizing an entire portfolio. As companies grow, they must strategically organize their portfolio of brands, a practice known as brand architecture. The cardinal rule is to provide clarity for the consumer. The primary strategies exist on a spectrum. At one end, we have the branded house. This is a single, powerful brand applied across all products. This is what Nike does. This is what Apple does. This approach is highly efficient, but carries the risk that a failure in one area can damage the entire brand. On the other end of the spectrum is what we call a house of brands. This is where a parent company, someone like Procter & Gamble, for instance, remains invisible while managing a diverse portfolio of standalone brands. This strategy is less efficient, but effectively contains risk and allows a company to compete in disparate categories without confusion. The strategies of sub-brands and endorsed brands lie between the two extremes. They seek to balance the equity of the parent with the unique identity of the product. For instance, Microsoft's Windows, Courtyard by Marriott. Choosing the right architecture is a crucial strategic decision. As a brand's value grows, the focus must expand from organizing the portfolio to actively protecting it. Ultimately, brand management is a foundational business strategy, not a short-term marketing expense. It is a primary driver of shareholder value. A well-defined brand serves as an internal guiding light. Aligning the entire organization to every action reinforces its identity. The decision to consistently invest in brand equity, even during downturns, is what separates long-term winners from failures. This was starkly illustrated during the pandemic. Invisalign continued to advertise while its channels were closed and subsequently saw its stock soar while Smile Direct Club cut advertising, seeded the market, and ultimately went bankrupt. A successful brand rooted in a genuine understanding of consumer needs and a commitment to delivering on its promises is the most sustainable and profitable asset a company can possess. So as we wrap up this series, let's reflect on the journey. We started with the fundamentals of why strong brands win, then defined identity, designed elements, and owned our brand market positioning. We learned how to manage an always-on digital brand and explore the strategic moves of brand extensions and revitalization, including the blunders. And finally, we learned how to measure it all to prove its value. This has been a complete journey from the art of brand building to the science of brand management. And as we've seen, success lies at the intersection of both. The ultimate goal is to become an analyst who can not only tell a powerful story, but can also back it up with undeniable data. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Keep analyzing and keep building brands that truly matter.